makes you, a broken individual who is unable to function without their narcissistic parent. Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about the different ways narcissistic parents treat their children when they feel that they are losing control. And this is for kids as well as adult children. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So we know who these narcissistic parents are. Narcissistic parents are those narcissistic individuals, who choose to start family so that, they can harvest supply. Yeah. Narcissistic parents are not like those healthy, parents who start family, for altruistic reasons or out of love. Narcissistic parents choose to become parent, you know, because they want, things out of their children. They want their kids to do things for them. Yeah, it's very selfish. It's very, one way. Narcissistic parents will do the bare minimum and expect huge return. They might invest, a couple of $100 in their kid's life, but the kind of return they expect out of their kid is like millions and billions. Yeah, they will do the bare minimum and they will expect huge return till the time they are alive. Narcissistic parents really don't care about their kids' well-being. All what they're concerned about is, the kind of supply the kid is, providing them with. Yeah. Narcissistic parents really don't care about, their kids' feelings, emotions, and this is because of, this lack of empathy. And they really don't care what their kids are feeling or experiencing or going through, or what, pain, their action is causing, to their children. Narcissistic parents really don't care. All what they're concerned about is how well the kids are able to serve them. Yeah, and not the other way around. If the kids, try and prioritize themselves, try and, prioritize their life, their, well-being, that is the time when narcissistic parents, throw, these labels at their children. You are being selfish, you are being mean, you are an ungrateful child. And all of it is basically to instill guilt and shame, so that the child, stops prioritizing himself or herself and, keeps prioritizing the narcissistic parent. They will keep you reminded of the bare minimum they have done. I did this for you, I did that for you, I sacrificed this, I sacrificed that. And this is basically to, subtly give you payback reminders. I have done this and that, and now it's your turn, yeah, to do all of those things for me. Yeah, but you cannot do the same thing that I have done for you. You have to do more. Yeah, otherwise, it will be very easy for the kids to get even. Yeah, because the kind of, things narcissistic parents do for their children, a kid can easily grow up and, earn, and they can, repay that and get even. But in narcissistic families, they twist things in such a way that you are never able to repay them. They are going to remind you, they are going to give you payback reminders. Plus, their entire ecosystem, society, their enablers, their flying monkey is going to gaslight you, is going to manipulate you, is going to tell you, you can never get even with your father, you can never get even with your mother. She spent so many sleepless nights. She did this for you. She did that for you. Do you think, a couple of $1,000 can, repay her? No, you will never be able to get even. Yeah. So, it's very difficult. You can never, come out of a narcissistic family uh, in a sane manner. Yeah. You can never, sever ties or end your relationship in a healthy manner. Before you even think, or before you even start working towards ending the relationship, you will be damaged to such an extent that you will be doubting your own self. And that's how they train you since childhood. They don't want you to grow up to be a healthy, independent adult individual. They break your soul. They never let you develop into a healthy individual, and that's how they have you on hook. And when you grow up to be adult, you are broken individual. Yeah, and if you think of going no contact, or if you try and end relationship, it's very, I would say, painful for you. You can neither stay in the relationship nor you can end that relationship. Yeah, because there is a lot of guilt and shame, that you were raised up with. Yeah, and all of that, makes you, a broken individual who is unable to function without their narcissistic parent. Yeah. So narcissistic parents groom you in such a way that, even if you go no contact or if you end the relationship, still you won't be happy. It takes time. Yeah, all that guilt and shame that they have instilled in you, it takes a lot of time to get over all of that. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to recover from that. Yeah, because if you go no contact, still you will suffer. If you are with them, you will suffer. But if you go no contact, you are going to suffer. Yeah, of course, I mean, like, after some time you are going to heal, you are going to recover, you are going to have closure. But initially it is very painful. So staying in that relationship is painful and damaging. You are damaged beyond repair. So when you come out of that relationship, it takes a lot of time to heal. Yeah, because you have been damaged since childhood. Yeah, and they did it consciously. They did it so that they can have you on hook. They did it so that you never leave them. That was their agenda and goal. They never wanted you to go off hook. They never wanted you to leave them. Yeah, because they bred you with a purpose. Yeah, return. They want return. And how will they get the return if you run away? Yeah, so they crush you, damage you, and destroy you at various levels: emotionally, mentally, psychologically. They damage you and scar you, in various ways, and all of it is basically to stunt your growth and to keep you on hook. Yeah. Now, coming to the different, ways narcissistic parents treat their children when they, fear that, they are about to lose control. The first way is increasing criticism and belittling to undermine confidence. So they are going to vehemently criticize you. Well, you can never do things right. Disgusting. You should have done better. You can never do things in a proper manner. I wonder if you can ever do things properly without my support. Yeah, because if I give you some responsibility, if I tell you to do things, you really mess it up. Yeah, I always have to get into it in order to work things out. Otherwise, if I leave it on to you, you are going to ruin it and mess it up. And this is basically to instill the feeling of inadequacy in their child. Yeah, and insecurity in their child. They don't want the kids to feel confident about themselves. They don't want their kids to develop a sense of self. Yeah, where they feel good with themselves. Yes, I have done something, and my parent is validating me, and yes, I can do better. If parents validate you in a healthy way, it motivates you to do more. Yeah, it encourages you to do better. But when you are dealing with narcissistic parents, they are never going to motivate you or encourage you. Instead, they are going to criticize you, belittle you. And when they fear that they are losing control over you, they are going to vehemently criticize you. Even though if you're doing good, even though if you have done things properly, they are going to criticize you. They just don't want you to grow in a healthy way. They want you to be emotionally, mentally crippled. They don't want you to develop a sense of self. They don't want you to develop confidence, yeah, in your own self. They don't want that. Yeah, because if you become confident, if you start trusting your own self, if you develop a sense of self, if you have the self-worth and self-esteem, You might not listen to their bullshit. You might leave them. You might start asking questions. Yeah, you might not play along. You might distance yourself. Yeah, you might start, working with boundaries. You might start saying no. And this is not what they want. This is not what they have brought you in this world for. They have brought you in this world for, so that, they can harvest supply. You keep serving them. You keep betraying your own self and you keep serving them. So, yes, narcissistic parents are going to, vehemently criticize their children, belittle their children, and all of it is basically to undermine their children's confidence, self-worth, self-esteem. And that's how they, damage their children. That's how they cripple their children. Yeah, and that's how they, stunt their growth so that the kid is on hook for long. The kid doesn't outgrow them. The other way narcissistic parents treat their children when they feel they are losing control is by using guilt trips and emotional blackmail to regain control. Yeah, they are going to guilt trip you. I did this, I did that, I suffered this, I suffered that. They're going to emotionally blackmail you. They're going to tell you, well, after all of the things that I have done for you, this is what I deserve. Can't you do this much for me? Can't you listen to me? Can't you obey me? Have you forgotten all of the things that I have done for you? Don't you remember how much I suffered, raising you and bringing you in this world? All that, BS, emotional blackmail, guilt trips. And this is basically to regain control. Yeah. When they feel that they are losing control, when they see that, you are being yourself, or you are, taking charge of your life, they have to do something. They are not going to sit and clap and laud you and tell you, well done, you can do better. No, they are not going to do that. Instead, they are going to blackmail you, guilt trip you. And, all of this is basically to, make the child feel guilty and responsible for the parent's emotion. Yeah, so that you stop prioritizing yourself, you stop doing what you're doing, and you again, start serving them. And as a result of which, you feel obligated. Yeah, let me not prioritize myself, let me not do things my way, let me, do things what makes him happy, what makes her happy. But we need to understand that we are not responsible for anyone's emotional ups and downs. Yeah, your emotion, your feeling is your thing. If you are unable to manage your own emotions, other people cannot come into the scene and manage your emotion and feelings and make you feel good. You have to make yourself feel good. You have to manage your emotions and feelings. But in a narcissistic household, the kids are made to feel responsible for their parents' emotional needs, ups and downs, feelings. Yeah. And that's how the kids are kept on hook for long. The other way narcissistic parents treat their children when they fear losing control over their children is by exaggerating their own suffering to garner sympathy and to manipulate. So narcissistic parents are going to exaggerate their suffering. You have got no idea what I went through. You have got no idea the kind of challenges I faced raising you. Your father was not cooperating. Your grandmother was not helpful. No one was helping me. They are going to exaggerate, cook up some kind of story. And all of it is basically to garner sympathy and to manipulate you into complying. Yeah, this is basically to distance you from whatever you are doing, whatever you are pursuing. This is to distance you from all of that and to keep you on track. I mean, which is to serve them and do whatever they ask from you. Yeah, so narcissistic parents are going to exaggerate their suffering, and it's basically to garner sympathy and manipulate you. Yeah, all of this exaggeration, all those cooked up stories, it leads to feeling of obligation and emotional exhaustion in the child. You feel obligated. Yeah, I need to now fix my parents problems. I need to now make her feel better. I need to give her some good time. Yeah, that's what happens when you are uh, regularly manipulated with all those, misconstrued and, all those made up stories of your, narcissistic parents suffering. Yeah, you feel obligated towards your parent. You feel as if you need to go out of your way and, make them happy and, make them feel a little better. And, in the entire process you are emotionally exhausted. You lose, grip over your own emotion. You lose grip over your own self. Yeah, because they make you feel guilty. They make you feel responsible. Yeah, and they make you feel, you know guilty to such an extent that you stop, prioritizing your happiness. You stop, taking care of your own self. Instead, you simply prioritize them. Yeah, I gave birth to you, I suffered this, I suffered that. Without me you wouldn't have been anywhere. If I wouldn't have had sent you to this school, if I wouldn't have had paid this and that, you wouldn't have been where you are. Even though, the kids have to slog their ass, they have to, you know uh, face and, manage their hardship and struggle and challenges. But, narcissistic parents are smart in credit hogging and in giving backhanded compliments. So narcissistic parents will exaggerate their own suffering, and, it is basically to manipulate and garner, sympathy from their children. Yeah, and, to let their child know that, they shouldn't prioritize themselves. Instead, they should prioritize their narcissistic parent. The other way narcissistic parents treat their children when they, fear, losing control over their children, is by spreading rumors and lies to damage the child's reputation. So narcissistic parents are going to, you can say they are going to run smear campaign behind your back. If you are doing something which you like, if you're not listening to them, or if you are enjoying your life, if you're happy in your life, they are going to, pit your siblings against you. They are going to, spread this smear campaign, against you. And the entire goal and objective is to change the way how people view you. The entire, goal is to socially isolate you. They are going to tell your siblings, you have got no idea, your elder brother is so selfish. They're going to tell the relatives, oh, you have got no idea, my son just doesn't care about me. He's just busy with his wife and his children. He's so selfish. He just doesn't value my suffering. He doesn't value and care for the things that I have done for him. He's shameless. He's selfish. He's mean. He's ungrateful. They are going to spread rumors. They are going to run smear campaign, and all of it is basically to, socially isolate you. All of it is basically to, instill this, feeling of betrayal in their kids. Yeah, so that the kids, run back to them. Yeah, and apologize and, does more and more and more. So narcissistic parents will do anything and everything in their reach and capacity to, keep you on hook. They don't want you to outgrow them. They don't want you to become independent or enjoy your life. Yeah, because they bred you for a purpose and reason, that is to solely serve them. Yeah, and not to have a life of your own. The other way narcissistic parents, treat their children when they feel they are losing control, is by withholding love and affection to punish and coerce. So narcissistic parents are going to withhold love and affection. They are not going to, express love and affection, throw lots of silent treatment, ignore you, not validate you, and all of it is basically to, punish you. If you do things your way, you will not be loved. You will have to win my love. My love is like a competition. My love is the end result of a competition. You have to win my love. And how will you win my love? By doing the things that I say, by giving me the things that I want out of you, by doing what is expected out of you. That's how you are going to win my love. If you are going to do things your way, all of that love and affection, I mean, the breadcrumbs are going to vanish in thin air. Yeah, all of that love, affection, validation, attention is going to be withheld. Yeah, and that's how they, bring you back. That's how they put you on track. That's how they have you on hook again. Yeah, when they fear that they are losing control over you, they are going to withhold love and affection. Yeah, and that is basically to tell you that love and affection will vanish in thin air if you don't comply. You will not be loved, and you will not experience any affection from our side if you don't listen to us, if you don't do things our way. Yeah, and what this does is that this creates a sense of abandonment and unworthiness in the child. The kid feels abandoned, the kids feel betrayed, the kids are scared to lose the connection, I mean the connection with their parent. The kids feel unworthy on the inside. Yeah, maybe there's something wrong with me, I'm not good enough, that's the reason mom doesn't love me, that's the reason mom doesn't agree to me, that's the reason mom is not showing any affection to me. Yeah, so there is something wrong with me. But we know what the wrong thing is. The wrong thing is the narcissistic parent. They are demonic individuals, they are the evil individuals. Yeah, they are the bad ones, but they make you feel as if you are the bad one. Yeah, that is the way how they control you, manipulate you, and keep you on hook. And the last way narcissistic parents treat their children when they feel that they are losing control over their children is by threatening financial or material support withdrawal to force compliance. They are going to threaten their children. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to pay for your school. I'm not going to pay for your college. I'm not going to, pay for your fuel. I'm not going to pay for anything. You can just go out and stay, leave the house. I'm not going to pay for your food. I'm not going to pay for this and that. And this is basically to induce fear. Yeah, so that you don't do things your way, you comply. Yeah, so that your sustenance is not jeopardized, your school fees is taken care of, your shelter is taken care of. So narcissistic parents will use money to control and manipulate their children. Yeah, and this is simply to induce fear. Yeah, I mean, how will I survive if I'm a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old? How will I survive you know in a city if my father throws me out? Okay, I mean, after some time I will find out ways, I will learn, I will manage, somehow I might survive. But initially I would be scared with the idea of being alone. But if my father tells me that he's going to throw me out, I will be shit scared. I will stop whatever I'm doing and I will do what he wants me to do, because I want to feel safe. I don't want to be abandoned, I don't want to lose my parents, and I don't want to be alone. I'm scared to be alone when I'm 10-year-old, and if my father is threatening, I will stop whatever I'm doing. I'll simply comply and I'll try and be an obedient child. Yeah, so that he doesn't throw me out, he doesn't cut off my supply. How will I survive? This is how things are in narcissistic families. Yeah, this is how they make you dependent on them. Yeah, they use money to control you, they use money to manipulate you. And this creates a very unhealthy dependency on your narcissistic parent. You are scared. Yeah, since childhood you are scared of doing things by yourself or doing things your way, and as a result of which, when you grow up to be an adult, you are scared to lose them, and as a result of which you learn to settle with the least, the bare minimum, and you tend to keep pleasing them. You don't think of going out of your way and making money and surviving all by yourself, because since childhood they have threatened you, conditioned you, and they have instilled this fear of abandonment inside of you. Yeah, and you really don't want to be abandoned, you are scared, and as a result of which you just want to be with them, you want to be around them, you don't want to be away from them. Yeah, narcissistic parents instill so much of unhealthy things in you that you become very dependent on them, and as a result of which they get what they want out of you, but you tend to lose the good people in your life. You tend to lose your personal life. You tend to lose your own happiness. You tend to lose your own self in the process of holding on to that broken relationship. I mean, your relationship with narcissistic parent, you lose good friends, you lose good opportunities, you lose someone who is very affectionate towards you, you lose your lover, you lose your spouse, you lose a healthy relationship with your children, all because of your narcissistic parent. Yeah, they have instilled you know so much of guilt and shame in you. They have instilled so much of this fear of abandonment, so much of social isolation, social anxiety, so much of unhealthy dependency, that you just cannot function or fathom a life without them. Yeah, it becomes very difficult to think of a life without them. Yeah, that's the kind of damage they do to their children. Yeah, they raise you to be broken individuals so that you keep running back to them, you have them in your life, or you be around them, and that's it. Yeah, your other relationships will be just fucked up. Narcissistic parents really don't care. Your career, your work, your relationship, love life, everything will be a royal mess. Yeah, and it's because you are unable to prioritize your own self. You are unable to prioritize what's good for you, because you have been trained and conditioned to prioritize them and not you. Yeah, yourself. So after a time, people will leave you, people will distance themselves. They are going to leave you alone, because healthy individuals want to be with those who know what self-care is. Healthy individuals want to be with those who can prioritize themselves. If you can prioritize yourself, that means you will be able to love me as well. But if you are unable to prioritize yourself, you are a broken, dysfunctional individual, and you will never be able to love me in a healthy way. So yes, these are the different ways narcissistic parents treat their children, adult children, when they feel they are losing control, or when they feel that the kids are going to leave them. These are the nasty tricks they play on their kids, yeah, in order to have them on hook, in order to coerce them, in order to keep them forever compliant and hooked onto them. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.